In the bustling city of Cyprus, circa 300 BC, there lived a merchant of great wealth and renown named Zeno. He had built an empire through his shrewd business acumen and tireless work ethic, amassing a fortune that was the envy of all who knew him. But fate, as it often does, had other plans for Zeno. On a fateful journey from Phoenicia to Piraeus, Zeno's ship was battered by a fierce storm, its hull splintering under the relentless onslaught of wind and wave. The vessel, along with all of Zeno's precious cargo, was swallowed by the unforgiving sea. In a cruel twist of fate, entirely beyond his control, Zeno found himself stripped of his wealth, his status, his very livelihood. In an instant, he had gone from a man of means to a pauper. Imagine, for a moment, that you were in Zeno's shoes. How would you react to seeing your life's work, everything you had toiled and sacrificed for, ripped away by the capricious hand of nature? Would anger consume you, burning hot and fierce in your belly? Would despair engulf you, leaving you feeling hollow and betrayed by life's cruelty? For most of us, these reactions would be understandable, even expected. But Zeno, the father of Stoicism, chose a different path. You see, Zeno understood a profound truth. A single change, no matter how small, can ripple through eternity. A slight shift in perspective, a reframing of one's mindset, can set in motion a cascade of transformations that reshape the very fabric of our lives. This is the essence of Stoicism, a philosophy built upon the twin pillars of acceptance and equanimity. Inspired by the wisdom of Socrates and other luminaries, Zeno developed and shared the tenets of Stoicism, a way of life that would stand the test of time. At the heart of Zeno's teachings was a simple but powerful idea. While we may have little control over the events that befall us, we have absolute control over how we let those events affect us. It is our response, not our circumstances, that defines us. Rather than lamenting his lost fortune, rather than raging against the unfairness of it all, Zeno chose to maintain his composure. He met adversity with calm acceptance, refusing to let his predicament rob him of his inner peace. In our modern world, Stoics are often misunderstood as unfeeling, as people who have somehow managed to sever themselves from the tumultuous tides of emotion. But this is a misconception. Stoicism is not about being emotionless. It is about harnessing the power of perspective. To navigate life's challenges with grace and resilience, it is a lens through which we can view the world, a framework for understanding and adapting to the vicissitudes of fate. The beauty of Stoicism lies in its timelessness. The principles that guided Zeno and his followers centuries ago are just as relevant and impactful today. By embracing Stoic philosophy, we can learn to process negative emotions, to transmute the lead of painful experiences into the gold of wisdom and personal growth. We can cultivate a perspective that allows us to weather any storm, to find meaning and purpose even in the face of adversity. Perspective is the key that unlocks the door to a life well lived. Each of us, shaped by our unique experiences and circumstances, sees the world through a different lens. The Stoics recognized the transformative power of perspective, and they sought to share their insights with all who would listen. They gathered in public spaces, engaging in spirited discussions and imparting their wisdom to any who sought it. From the lowliest slave to the mightiest emperor, all were welcome to learn and grow through the teachings of Stoicism. And so, Stoicism spread, its tenets embraced by some of history's most remarkable figures. Epictetus, a former slave who rose to become a renowned philosopher; Seneca, a statesman and advisor to emperors; Marcus Aurelius, a ruler who sought to lead with wisdom and compassion. These men, and countless others, found in Stoicism a path to a life of purpose, resilience, and inner tranquility. So, my friends, let us take a page from Zeno's book. Let us meet life's challenges with the calm acceptance and unshakable spirit of a true Stoic. Let us remember that, no matter what storms rage around us, we always have the power to choose our response. By embracing the wisdom of Stoicism, by cultivating a perspective of growth and resilience, we can weather any tempest and emerge stronger, wiser, and more fully alive. In a world that often seems chaotic and unpredictable, Stoicism offers us a beacon of hope, a way to find meaning and purpose amid the tumult. So let us walk the path of the Stoics. Let us face life's trials with courage and equanimity. For in doing so, we tap into a wellspring of inner strength, a source of unshakable peace that can never be taken from us. This is the gift of Stoicism, a gift that has endured for centuries and will continue to guide and inspire us for generations to come. The early Stoics were not content to merely philosophize about their principles, they lived them, embodying the very ideals they espoused. These intrepid thinkers were at the forefront of the fight against inequality, rejecting all forms of segregation and championing the inherent worth of every individual. So committed were they to the notion of universal human dignity, that they coined the term cosmopolitan, a word that literally means citizen of the world. In our modern era, we often associate the term cosmopolitan with vibrant, diverse cities like New York, Toronto, Dubai, and London. These urban centers are celebrated for their rich tapestry of cultures, languages, and traditions, a testament to the power of inclusivity and shared humanity. This is precisely the kind of unity and togetherness that the Stoics advocated for, the vision they worked tirelessly to bring to fruition. Remarkably, even in an age when it was far from fashionable, the Stoics welcomed women into their ranks, encouraging them to freely learn about Stoic philosophy and embrace its teachings. This progressive stance was a powerful statement, a recognition that wisdom knows no gender, and that all individuals have the capacity for personal growth and self-mastery. So, what is it about Stoicism that continues to captivate and inspire people across the centuries? In a world that often feels chaotic and unpredictable, where unexpected events can upend our lives, in an instant, Stoicism offers a beacon of stability and resilience. It is a philosophy that acknowledges the power of our emotions, but also recognizes that these emotions can sometimes cloud our judgment and hinder our progress. The truth is, we don't become sad or upset simply because bad things happen to us. Rather, it is the unexpected nature of these events that throws us off balance. Consider the example of rain. On a fundamental level, rain is a blessing, nourishing our crops, providing water for our livestock, and keeping the temperature cool and comfortable. Yet, when we find ourselves caught in a downpour without an umbrella, we rarely feel grateful for the rain's benefits. Instead, we feel frustrated, inconvenienced, and even angry. But why don't we dissolve into tears every time the sky opens up? It's because, through experience, we have learned to expect rain. We understand that it is an unavoidable part of life, a force beyond our control. And while getting soaked may be unpleasant, we know that the rain will eventually pass, and the light will return. Stoicism teaches us to apply this same mindset to all of life's challenges, to expect that everything that can go wrong will go wrong, and to find peace in that knowledge. One of the most powerful tools in the Stoic arsenal is the practice of voluntary discomfort. This exercise, designed to cultivate gratitude and resilience, involves deliberately exposing ourselves to uncomfortable situations. It might mean sleeping on the kitchen floor, taking cold showers instead of hot ones, or subsisting on a meager diet of potatoes for a few days. By willingly embracing discomfort, we train ourselves to understand that no matter how difficult circumstances may become, we have the strength to endure and even thrive. If only we adopt the right min. In a sense, voluntary discomfort is a way of inoculating ourselves against future misfortunes. By learning to withstand these small hardships, we build the mental fortitude necessary to weather life's greater storms. This message is more critical now than ever before. In a world where we are constantly bombarded with advertisements, telling us that happiness is just one purchase away, that we need to look a certain way or achieve a certain level of wealth to find contentment. The truth is, we enter this world as blank slates, knowing little about ourselves or the complex realities that surround us. As we grow, we absorb knowledge and values from our families, our schools, and our own observations of the world. But these sources of information often contradict one another, leaving us with a tangled web of expectations and beliefs. The question we must ask ourselves is, do we need to internalize all of these messages? Or can we chart our own course? If we blindly accept every societal expectation and cultural norm, we risk setting ourselves up for disappointment and disillusionment. We may find ourselves chasing goals that don't truly resonate with our deepest values, or measuring our worth by external standards that leave us feeling perpetually inadequate. This is no way to live. Instead, Stoicism invites us to focus on self-improvement, to pursue personal growth and excellence for its own sake, rather than to impress others or meet arbitrary benchmarks of success. When we attach our happiness and sense of fulfillment to external factors, we set ourselves up for disappointment. True contentment, the Stoics argue, comes from within, from living in accordance with our values and cultivating inner peace and resilience by focusing on what we can control: our thoughts, our actions, our responses to life's challenge. Free ourselves from the tyranny of expectations and learn to find joy and purpose in the present moment. So, my friends, let us embrace the wisdom of the Stoics. Let us live with intention and integrity, pursuing personal growth and self-mastery for their own sake. Let us find strength in the face of adversity, knowing that we have the power to choose our response to life's trials and tribulations. And let us cultivate a sense of global citizenship, recognizing the inherent worth and dignity of all people, regardless of their background or circumstances. In a world that often feels chaotic and uncertain, Stoicism offers us a path to inner peace and resilience. By learning to expect the unexpected, to find opportunity in adversity, and to measure our worth by our own standards, we can weather any storm and emerge stronger, wiser, and more compassionate. This is the gift of Stoicism, a philosophy that has stood the test of time, and continues to inspire and empower individuals across the globe. So let us walk the path of the Stoics. Let us embrace discomfort and challenge as opportunities for growth, and let us strive each day to become the best versions of ourselves. For in doing so, we not only enrich our own lives but contribute to the betterment of the world around us. This is the true power of Stoicism, a philosophy that has the potential to transform not only individuals but entire societies, one mindful choice at a time. In our relentless pursuit of happiness and fulfillment, we often find ourselves grasping at external things, hoping they will fill the void within us. We splurge on flashy cars, grand houses, and even rush into starting families, believing that these achievements will bring us the contentment we crave. But all too often, we chase these goals for their external value, neglecting the deeper, more meaningful reasons that should drive our actions. Stoicism, however, offers a different path, a way of understanding that true happiness cannot be found in the fleeting and unreliable world outside ourselves. When we pin our hopes and dreams on external factors, we surrender our well-being to forces beyond our control. We place our happiness in the hands of a capricious universe, one that can swiftly and mercilessly dash our hopes against the rocks. Cars, no matter how sleek and luxurious, inevitably break down. Natural disasters can wipe entire cities off the map in a matter of moments. And the sacred bonds of marriage, once thought unbreakable, crumble at an alarming rate, leaving shattered hearts and broken homes in their wake. Even the things we consider free, the intangible joys of life, come with a hidden cost, the price of our time, energy, and mental space. As the wise Stoic philosopher Seneca once wrote, "Learning to live with less will create space in your life for the things that truly matter to you." By chasing after an endless array of possessions and achievements, we clutter our lives with distractions, leaving little room for the pursuits that nourish our souls and bring us genuine fulfillment. The Stoic path calls us to place our happiness not in the ephemeral trappings of the external world, but in the unshakable foundation of our intrinsic worth as human beings. It urges us to cultivate inner peace and resilience, to face life's challenges with a cool head and a steadfast spirit, regardless of the storms that rage around us. Because in the end, No matter how meticulously we plan or how fervently we wish, the vast majority of what happens to us lies beyond our control. But there is one thing we can always control: our own reactions, our inner response to the twists and turns of fate. This is the heart of Stoic philosophy, the dichotomy of control. Stoicism teaches us to distinguish between what we can influence and what we cannot, to focus our energy and attention on the former and accept the latter with grace and equanimity. Our true value, our deepest sense of self-worth, must stem from the things we can master: our thoughts, our actions, our character, not from the fickle whims of the world around us. This is not to say that we should abandon our goals and ambitions. Striving towards meaningful objectives is a noble and necessary part of the human experience. But when we tie our entire sense of self to the outcome of these pursuits, when we crumble and despair at the first sign of failure or setback, we do ourselves a grave disservice. From the Stoic perspective, such anguish is not only unproductive but ultimately self-defeating. Consider the challenges of creating content in the digital age. Making YouTube videos may seem a far cry from the trials of a Roman emperor, but it is not without its own unique difficulties. The process is long and arduous, forming an idea which can feel like an eternity in itself. Researching, scrapping, starting over, scripting, filming, editing, and finally, crafting the perfect title and thumbnail. Every step of this journey, from the initial spark of inspiration to the final click of the upload button, is entirely within your control. But the moment your video goes live, your power ends, and the whims of the YouTube algorithm take over. Still, countless creators judge their worth and success by metrics largely outside their control, obsessing over view counts, subscriber numbers, and follower tallies. Stoicism offers a different measure of achievement, one based not on external validation, but on the quality and sincerity of the effort put forth. It encourages us to focus on the process, not the outcome, to find satisfaction in the knowledge that we have done our best, regardless of how the world receives our work. This principle extends far beyond the realm of creative pursuits. Imagine a diligent employee who has poured their heart and soul into their job for months on end, going above and beyond in every task. They feel confident that they have earned a promotion and eagerly present their case to their boss. But instead of the recognition they expect, they are met with a polite thanks and no advancement. Dejected, they return home, convinced that they must be inadequate at their job. What this employee fails to consider is the myriad factors outside their control that may have influenced the decision. Perhaps their boss was in a foul mood that day, or another candidate was slightly more qualified. Maybe the company was struggling financially and simply couldn't afford to promote anyone at the time. The reason is ultimately irrelevant. What matters is how the employee chooses to respond to this setback. If they had based their sense of accomplishment on the quality of their work rather than the promotion itself, if they had resolved to keep excelling and growing regardless of external recognition, they could have spared themselves needless anguish and maintained a sense of pride and purpose. This is the power of reframing, of shifting our mindset to align with Stoic principles. A true practitioner of Stoicism does not measure their worth by the financial gains or losses of their endeavors, but finds contentment in the knowledge that they can lead a rich and meaningful life without the fleeting comforts that money can buy, by focusing on what is within our control: our efforts, our integrity, our inner resilience, to insulate ourselves from the disappointments and frustrations that so often plague the human experience. Embracing the Stoic path is not about becoming unfeeling or indifferent to the world around us. It is about developing the wisdom and fortitude to navigate life's challenges with grace, to find joy and purpose in the things that truly matter, and to let go of the rest. It is about understanding that true happiness comes not from what we have, but from who we are and how we choose to face the vagaries of fate. So, my friends, let us take these ancient teachings to heart. Let us cultivate a mindset of resilience and adaptability, one that allows us to weather any storm and emerge stronger and wiser on the other side. Let us focus our energy on what we can control: our thoughts, our actions, our character and make peace with what we cannot. And let us remember, always, that our deepest sense of fulfillment and self-worth must come from within. From the unshakable knowledge that we are doing our best and living in alignment with our high. In a world that often seems chaotic and unpredictable, Stoicism offers us a roadmap to inner peace and unshakable confidence. By embracing its principles, we arm ourselves with the tools we need to face life's challenges head-on, to find opportunity in adversity, and to create a life of purpose and meaning, no matter what obstacles we may encounter along the way. So, let us walk this path together, supporting and inspiring one another as we strive to become our best selves. For in the end, it is not the destination that matters, but the strength, wisdom, and compassion we cultivate on the journey. At the heart of Stoic philosophy lie four cardinal virtues: wisdom, courage, temperance, and justice. These pillars form the foundation upon which a life of purpose, resilience, and inner peace can be built. Let us explore each of these virtues in turn, and discover how they can guide us towards a more fulfilling existence. Wisdom, in the Stoic sense, is the ability to discern between what lies within our control and what does not. It is the understanding that we cannot always dictate the events that befall us, but we can choose how we respond to them. As the renowned psychiatrist and Holocaust survivor Viktor Frankl so eloquently put it, between stimulus and response, there is a space, and that space is our power to choose a response. In cultivating wisdom, we learn to navigate this space with grace and intentionality, focusing our energy on what we can influence and accepting what we cannot with equanimity. Courage, in its essence, can be distilled into two words: persist and resist. It is the strength to persevere in the face of adversity, to hold fast to our convictions even when the path grows steep and the wind howls against us. It is also the fortitude to resist the siren call of temptation, to stay true to our values even when it would be easier to compromise. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the resolve to act in spite of it, to do what is right rather than what is easy. Temperance, or moderation, is the art of doing more with less, of finding elegance in simplicity. It is the recognition that true wealth lies not in the accumulation of material possessions, but in the cultivation of a rich inner life. In a world where the likes of Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk vie for the top spot on the Forbes list, Stoicism reminds us that the limit of wealth should simply be having what is essential, and then having what is enough. By embracing temperance, we free ourselves from the tyranny of endless desire and learn to find contentment in what we already have. Justice, the most important of all the virtues, is the principle that no one should harm another, for we are all born to serve and support one another. It is the understanding that our highest calling is not to enrich ourselves, but to do good to others and to contribute to the well-being of our communities. Nelson Mandela, one of the most iconic African leaders of our time, embodied this virtue in his tireless fight against the injustice of apartheid. Despite being sentenced to life imprisonment, where he languished for 27 long years, Mandela never lost sight of his commitment to justice. Throughout his incarceration, he immersed himself in the works of Marcus Aurelius and other Stoic thinkers, absorbing their teachings and putting them into practice. When he was finally released and elected president of South Africa, many expected him to seek revenge against those who had oppressed him and his people for so long. But Mandela, true to his Stoic principles, chose a different path. Instead of calling for retribution, he urged his nation to let go of the past, to focus on rebuilding and reconciliation. He understood that the injustices of yesterday, however grievous, were now beyond their control. The only way forward was to channel their energy into creating a better future, to find a way to coexist and thrive together. In this, Mandela embodied the very essence of Stoicism, the unwavering commitment to living in accordance with one's highest values, no matter the circumstances. The principles of Stoicism find powerful applications in modern-day medicine as well. Rational emotive behavioral therapy, or EBT, for instance, is rooted in Stoic thought. It helps patients identify and challenge the negative thought patterns that give rise to emotional and behavioral problems. By examining the logic behind these thoughts and recognizing when they are unfounded or irrational, patients can learn to replace them with healthier, more productive beliefs. This process of mental rewiring is at the core of Stoic practice, the constant effort to align our thinking with truth and reason. Logotherapy, another modern therapeutic approach, draws on the Stoic principle that humans are fundamentally driven by the search for meaning. Even in the darkest and most desperate situations, logotherapy suggests we can find purpose and fulfillment by identifying what matters most to us and pursuing it with dedication. While simple in concept, this is often easier said than done. It requires a willingness to examine our lives deeply, to question our assumptions and habits, and to make conscious, sometimes difficult choices about what we value and prioritize. Ultimately, the path to happiness and peace of mind lies in focusing on what we can control: our thoughts, our actions, our inner life, and learning to let go of what we cannot. By redirecting our attention and energy to the things we can influence, we stop being at the mercy of external circumstances and start shaping our reality in accordance with our values. This is the essence of Stoic self-worth, the understanding that our true value lies not in what we have or how others see us, but in the quality of our character and the integrity of our choices. Stoicism, then, is not a guarantee of a life free from hardship or sorrow. Rather, it is a compass that helps us navigate the storms of existence with grace, resilience, and an abiding sense of purpose. It teaches us to find peace in the knowledge that we are doing our best, living in alignment with our deepest values. And if, in the end, our proverbial ship should sink beneath the waves, we can take solace in the fact that we lived well, that we faced our challenges with courage and integrity. For in the grand scheme of things, everything must come to an end. Stoicism reminds us that what matters is not how long we live, but how well we live, how fully and authentically we embody our principles. It invites us to make each day, each moment, a testament to our highest aspiration, to leave a legacy not of wealth or fame, but of wisdom, compassion, and strength of character. So, my friends, let us take these ancient teachings to heart. Let us cultivate the virtues of wisdom, courage, temperance, and justice, not as abstract ideals, but as daily practices, as the very fabric of our lives. Let us meet adversity with resilience, temptation with resolve, and injustice with unwavering commitment to what is right. And let us find, in the midst of life's tumult, a steadfast sense of purpose and an unshakable inner peace. For this is the promise of Stoicism, not a life without struggle, but a life of meaning, integrity, and true fulfillment. It is a path that demands much of us, but offers in return a profound sense of empowerment, a deep well of inner strength from which we can draw in times of need. By embracing the Stoic way, we become the architects of our own happiness, the captains of our own souls. So let us walk this path together, supporting and inspiring one another as we strive to live with ever greater wisdom, courage, and grace. For in a world that often seems beyond our control, the one thing we can always master is ourselves, our inner life, our response to the challenges we face. And in that mastery, we discover the key to a life well lived, a life of purpose, resilience, and enduring peace.